Hi family, hi friends, hi food lovers. Hey neighbors, hey community, hey comics, people who like to cook, connect, and kvetch. Thanks so much for joining me for Hot Dish. Hello, and welcome to Hot Dish. I'm your guest, Lauren Huberman. Each week, I cook up something tasty while chatting with a special guest. Today, I'm going to be making a strawberry spoon cake, which is tasty and delightful and fresh and fluffy, just like my guest. Today's guest is Colleen Brennan, and here she is.
Hi. I just came in through the cabinet.
You sure did.
So impressive.
Oh my goodness, Colleen. This is so exciting for me and hopefully for you.
Yes.
I am so excited to have you here. Colleen is a podcaster. She's a stand-up comic. She is an actor. She does all kinds of things. She's a mom. She's a wife. She's a great friend. And today she's here with me looking lovely and fresh and charming.
I am so happy to be here. I am happy to be in person. This is the first time Lauren and I have been in the same room, in person, unmasked. We're both vaccinated. And it's like, this is liberating.
Yeah.
There are moments right now where I feel like I can't be close enough.
I mean, I was nervous because I was like, okay, I'm going to brush my teeth ahead of time. I'm going to wear extra deodorant. I'm going to put on a little perfume.
Right.
I just didn't want to blast you out.
No. Yeah. I'm just, you could have answered the door in a gunny sack and toothless. And I would have been like, oh.
I love that. Toothless. Huh?
Toothless in a gunny
That'd be
sack.
great. Oh my gosh. Well, cheers to us.
Oh my gosh.
And
to us.
to you. And happy hot dishing.
Thank you so much for having me here.
The bubbly. There's nothing like the bubbly.
This is my favorite.
Oh my gosh. So Colleen, yes. I am thrilled that you're here.
Thank you.
I have known you maybe 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, I want to say, yeah, because I started stand-up 8 years ago. So it was probably about 2 years in.
Yeah.
And I was a lonely comedian.
I know. I spotted you at Just Sticking Around.
Yes.
Where I also spotted Jess.
Yes.
And I just latched right onto you.
I couldn't have been happier to be latched onto.
And then I saw you at the Laugh Factory at a show.
Yeah. And
I think each of us might have come alone.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was so cool that you were there.
I just for really the first until I met more and more good friends, I just went everywhere alone in the comedy world. You just show up, and it's like, it was like the first 2 years were like 2 years of living the first day of junior high all over again.
My God. That's such a perfect analogy.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
Because every day you walk in and you're like, am I going to be as good as the others? Are they going to hate me? Are they going to like me? Did I overdress? Did I underdress? Oh my gosh. And then for me, it was always the added, I am so much older than everybody else. So I was like that kid who was held back like 4 grades. Yeah.
Yeah. But that kid also has knowledge and wisdom and valuable life experience, and you just can't trade that.
And I found one of the few people who understands.
Wow.
There might be 2.
Oh my gosh.
So,
yeah. No, I know you don't talk a lot about this, but we've had conversations about how you feel older. I mean, in the stand-up community in Chicago, of course, there's lots of 20-somethings, there's lots of early 30s. So, and I feel like an outlier a lot of times, but I know you really feel this like deeply.
Yeah, I deeply feel like I'm an outlier.
You are an outcast.
In fact, I know what I want to revise what I said earlier. It's not 2 years of the first day of junior high every day. It's 8 years. No, that's not true. Yeah, I feel a bit of an outlier because there aren't that many. Well, first of all, there aren't that many women who do stand-up comedy. There are definitely more now than there were 8 years ago when I was starting. I mean, I remember one of the first stand-up classes I did at second. I wanted to take as many stand-up classes as I could because that's how I wanted to build my material rather than like, you know, the first day of junior high over and over again. So I took a lot of classes, and in one of my classes at Second City, I was the only woman.
Yeah. How did that feel?
You know, it was interesting. I was okay with it because I have two boys and a husband. So I'm accustomed to being just in a room filled with testosterone bouncing off the walls. But like in a place where you're really vulnerable, it's not the easiest, but everybody was pretty cool. There was only one, I think I broke down one day. So it was like an 8-week course. I think I broke down one day because it was joke after joke after joke related to, do we have a rating on this podcast?
No.
Can I say anything?
It's rated X.
Like tons of dick jokes. And it was
God.
dick joke after dick joke after dick joke. And when you hear like 7 men joke about their penises all in a row, I was like, I said, I think I just broke down and said, guys, I am so sick of hearing about your dicks. I'm tired of it.
Good for you. And probably that's helpful feedback because guess what? It's not very original.
No.
Or fresh.
Right.
Like the strawberry spoon cake that we're about to make.
I'm so excited. What a segue.
Oh my gosh. I've been practicing all weekend. It's kind of amazing. I told you earlier, I'm trying to be more authentic.
Yes.
And more true to myself.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's
so
good.
This is the kind of the revamped version. So
this is, and what was, if you could explain to me exactly what I'm comparing this to. I have always known you as organic and authentic. So I'm trying to figure out where your baseline is.
Okay, well, I will just say that a couple of these episodes have not been the most amazing, and I've been incredibly weird and awkward and anxious. And I'm just going to say it. I get nervous. I get anxious. Sometimes I don't ask follow-up questions where I should.
Okay.
And so I'm really just going to be organic and just let things flow today with you. So
I can't think of, that's just the only way I know you.
Well, great.
Yeah.
Well, this is perfect
thus far.
Okay, so I'm going to put you to work.
Okay.
You're going to please butter this baking dish.
Okay.
It's for our spoon cake batter.
Do I use this?
This is an incredible life hack that I've learned.
Oh, what is it?
It's a little paintbrush, and you dip the butter or olive oil or whatever it is into the little tub. And you just brush it on, and there's no more messes. Like, I hate the paper towel gets all stuck in the butter, and no one wants that these days.
I feel like I need to give like a
doing
close-up
such a good
of
job.
How buttery do you want this?
Well,
I can go heavy, light.
I think you're pretty experienced in terms of cooking, so we just need to butter that pan. Baking dish. And while you're doing that, I'm going to cut up our fresh strawberries, which I got at Jewel yesterday. And part of the reason I got this is because you said, oh, strawberries are in season. And I was thinking, where? Where are they?
So I remember years ago, I think I was actually in grad school. I remember it was like late April, and somebody at a grocery store said to me, you know, strawberries are in season from mid-April to late June. And I was like, I'm like, so this is when they're the best? Because I was stupid and I didn't know what was going on in the world.
Yeah.
Particularly in the world of agriculture. And she said, yes. And I said, hot damn, that's strawberry season. So I have just carried this knowledge with me. Now, I don't know geographically which regions in the country.
Yeah. I don't know.
Nor do I ever claim to be an expert in much of anything. I think I got a bristle in here. Hold on. No, I think I got it.
Even if you did, I'm really not that picky, so don't worry.
It'll give it a lovely texture.
Yeah, the texture of a paintbrush.
There we go. Okay, I think I did.
So I don't want to knock you on the strawberry thing. I actually did read that they're in season, but in season to me is not the same as I think of Michigan strawberries, Midwestern strawberries, and those are really in season when, like July or something?
No. So
Okay,
this I do know because there is in a town where I grew up in Indiana, which isn't far from the Michigan border. They have you pick strawberries, and they are always perfect at the beginning of June. And if I get there 2 weeks late, like say I go on Father's Day, there's nothing left.
Oh, fuckers.
Field of strawberries completely empty. And then last year we actually, I think pandemic strawberry picking was a big deal.
Yeah.
And so we went, I think the second weekend in June or the third weekend in June. Okay. And my husband was gonna slaughter me because it was just, I was pulling him out to the farthest reaches of the strawberry field, crouching down, pulling like the most pathetic, like literally 3-centimeter berries that were like green off the vine. And he's like, are we really doing this? I'm like, oh, we're doing it.
Colleen, you are a hard worker and you're tenacious, so that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, no, I'm a tenacious strawberry picker.
I mean, now I'm just going to say that I'm supposed to be mashing up these strawberries with a fork to get the juice flowing. Mm-hmm. The juice could be juicier, but we're going to continue on. Okay. And also this recipe in the New York Times did not say how to cut these strawberries, so now I'm just making up my own version and cutting them how I see fit. Okay.
They look lovely.
Now, speaking of Indiana,
yes,
you have a podcast.
I do.
And I have listened to some of those episodes and they're wonderful.
Thank you so much.
And I love that you're so enthusiastic and you're just having fun.
I am.
And of course, it's a way to learn things. So will you tell me a little bit more about that podcast? And
so the podcast is called Defending Indiana. It is not specifically designed for Indiana residents. However, it is enjoyed by many Indiana residents and people who are all over. In fact, we've had downloads internationally. How about
Stop
that?
It.
Yeah, I know. It's really very exciting. I'm sure they're accidents or something. I don't know. But no, and so one of the things that was starting to drive me crazy when I was going to open mics and shows were the number of jokes about Indiana. Now, I understand this was during the Pence years. There was a lot of bad stuff going down in Indiana at that time. And I get it. And I totally empathized with it and agreed with everybody. However, that wasn't all to the state. And it gets to a certain point where when enough people keep continually making fun of things over and over again, and it's like where you came from, you get a little defensive. And then it's like Janice and I, my co-host is Janice Rodriguez, who also grew up in Indiana and is a stand-up comedian. And we both sort of feel like Indiana is a ridiculous state, but everywhere is a different ridiculous state, and we all have our problems, and we can make fun of our state, but when you do, we makes us want to cut you. So so that's what it was born out of. So we take like a myth, a stereotype, or just something that people don't know anything about, and we use that topic. We discuss our relationship to that topic, and then we usually have a guest come, a notable Hoosier come and speak to us about the topic.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, yeah, no, you're right about, I'm just thinking because you're right about the connotations about Indiana. It's a little bit like Florida.
Exactly.
It's like, okay, so by the way, I'm putting a 1/3 cup of sugar. I had to mix dark brown sugar and white sugar because I didn't have light brown sugar.
It looks wonderful.
So I'm putting it in the strawberries, and then I'm going to put you to work again in a minute.
Happy to
I just mix the sugar in with our mashed strawberries in here, and then we set it aside. And we just let it do what it needs to do. Stir this together.
Is this is this called, this is macerating. Is this macerating?
It could be.
Okay.
I prefer to call it lacerating.
Lacerating?
I think it's macerating. Colleen, you're so good.
Macerating.
Let's just, it's, what did you call it?
Macerating?
Yeah, it's macerating.
Okay, and that sounds right.
It's melding of flavors as well.
Melding.
I
think we should expand our vocabulary right now. I think we should use words that we don't even know. Just throw them out with wild abandon.
think that's just a marvelous idea, darling.
Marvelous.
But yeah, no, Indiana it is like Florida. I mean, and I'll be honest, I have my own stereotypes about it too. And but then I look at you and I'm like, you're so cultured and refined and sophisticated. So all one needs to know is you, and then they know enough about Indiana.
Well, that's really flattering, and it's largely untrue. But no, it's I think we all come from, it was really, so our final guest was our number one fan. We just recorded our last episode for season 1.
Mm-hmm.
And we had our defending Indiana number one fan, who was actually on your podcast.
Wait, let me think. Oh, Sonal
Agarwal. So she came on because she really listened to everything and like had little comments, and it was really sweet and wonderful.
So cool.
So I wanted to have her on, and she summed it up pretty well. She said, we all come from a place, and we often have difficulty appreciating the place that we're from when we're there. And there's a grass is always greener thing. But then when you're away from that place, or you take a step back and really think about where you're from, you realize we're all pretty much the same. One place isn't necessarily better than the other. And she said on top of it, the really big places like the New Yorks and the Mexico Cities and the Tokyos, nobody knows us, cares about us, hears about us. And so I don't know, I think it just gives us, I guess, part of the point was, let's stop ripping on each other. Let's have some fun talking about how we're different. And then let's appreciate those differences for what they are.
Yeah.
But if there's hatred or nastiness, then we need to call that out too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I love that. That's so, it's so free and loving and kind of just organic and authentic.
I was wondering if that smacked of organic and authentic.
It really does, actually.
Good. I was aiming for that today.
Okay, so now here's what we need to do. We need our medium-sized bowl, which we have here, our clear bowl. We need a whisk.
I want to, yeah.
Okay, yes.
Like this is, for those of you who don't know what a whisk is.
Yeah. Oh, damn. A whisk is amazing. I love it. Okay, we need to add the melted butter, which we have. We have our stick of melted butter all ready to go. Mm-hmm. Oh. And I'm going to set this aside so you have some room to work. Okay, butter. That was a really lovely pour you just did. And then I'll take this from you.
Yes. I think I'm hamming it up way too much right now.
Oh, that's allowed. Okay, so we need the melted butter, and then we need, oh God, what do we need? A 1/3 cup of brown sugar. Now, where in the heck did I put that measuring cup? Oh, here. Oh my gosh, that was so unprofessional.
It was on the other side of the strawberry bowl. For anybody who's listening and not viewing this, it was an honest mistake. Lauren is being ridiculously difficult on herself at this moment.
Oh, but it was organic. So
it was so organic.
It happened.
I don't know if we can adequately explain to our viewers and listeners here just how beautiful this mixture of brown sugar and white sugar is in this bowl of butter.
It's so gorgeous.
I just kind of want to eat it right now. Okay, I'm going to stop.
Okay.
Do I mix?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
Okay, actually, we need 1/2 teaspoon salt and 1/2 cup whole milk.
Okay.
So we have our salt here and we have our teaspoon. So you do that.
Okay. So 1/2 teaspoon, you said?
Yes. 1/2 teaspoon salt. And I'm going to do 1/2 cup of whole milk, which I think is just delicious.
Can I just say how adorable these multicolored mixing spoons are?
Thank you.
How frequently I'm like trying to read things, but like you can memorize a color and be like, oh, that's purple. That's a table.
That's so, I never thought about doing it that way. It's so smart.
Organic and authentic. That's what I'm all about.
Okay, now you whisk it together.
Okay, I'm going to do this away.
Okay, so Colleen's moving away so she doesn't blast out the listeners' ears. Yes. We are sharing a microphone today. So yeah, and maybe we're going to switch in a minute, because I'm going to ask you to talk a little bit about Momedians, which is another comedy group that you're a part of. And of course, we'll talk about backroom comedy with us too. But Momedians is a group of women that I'd love to hear you talk about, and like kind of how are there goals of that group, and like, how would you describe it?
So the Momedians of Momedy was the brainchild of Kat Herskovic, who is a amazing stand-up comedian here in Chicago. And she, when she was pregnant with her first, thought maybe it would be fun to create a group of comedians who just happened to be moms, and put together a showcase of those moms. And the idea is that we are all stand-up comedians and we are all mothers, but we do not sit around and joke about motherhood. It's not like mom joke after mom joke after mom joke. It's sort of this idea of expanding your perception of what it means to be a stand-up comedian, a woman, and a mother. And I think, ultimately what we were hoping to do was just display these amazing, funny women who have fabulous original ideas that are related to their lives that may or may not be related to motherhood. And so, really, and give ourselves more of an opportunity to perform. Really, Lauren, most of the stuff that I do is just trying to create opportunities for myself to perform. So that's what it was all about.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm going to ask you a follow-up question in a minute, because this is a good time for one. But this mixture looks awful.
It looks terrible.
I don't understand what's wrong with it.
I don't either. You could probably just pop it in the microwave.
What?
And melt it a little bit further. Would that work, or would that destroy things?
Crazy.
Okay, well.
Okay, so I don't know what's going on. But it's supposed to be smooth, and it's very chunky, and it looks awful. But we're just going to soldier ahead.
I think so.
Okay, so we're going to add. This is my first time where the recipe isn't coming together as I had hoped and planned.
I think it'll still be delicious and wonderful.
But we're going to have to carry on.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to add a cup of flour and a teaspoon of baking powder, and we're going to see if this mixture comes together, because right now it looks like a goopy disaster. It looks awful. I've never seen anything look like that with baking. It's soupy and goopy.
It looks a little bit like brains.
It does look like brains.
Floating in with some plaque.
It does. Plaque.
Brains with plaque floating in cerebral spinal fluid.
That's a really good description.
Thank you.
It
do you want me to just give it a? Do you want me to give it one more go?
I mean, if you'd like to. I don't want you to make a mess of yourself over there. Goodness sakes.
I just don't know. I feel like it's a little less brainy right now.
Is it? It's probably because you're doing it and not me.
I think so.
This is going to be so sad if we don't have our treat.
We're going to have our treat.
Okay.
I believe in us.
Okay.
I choose us, Lauren.
I choose it too. I choose you mostly. So like for the Momedians, could I be in it?
No.
Even though I'm not.
I mean, if you give birth to something, you can. And it can be anything other than like an idea.
I feel so discriminated against right now.
Just, you're welcome. Welcome to feeling discriminated against.
Oh, wait, I just put in salt instead of baking powder. Oh my God, this is going
be a
to hell.
Salty strawberry treat.
This organic material is really going sideways. Okay.
I think it's going to be fine. I can fish out some of this.
I feel like this is like America's Practical Jokes.
Okay.
Well, it is going to be. Oopsie.
It's just going to be salty.
Okay, I'm going to take that little spoonful.
There you go.
There. I think we might have salvaged it a little bit anyhow.
Do you want me to mix this, or do you
if you'd like to? You can take a little turn, and I'll take a turn.
Okay, I'm going to give this a shot. People.
So I can't be in the Momedians. That feels bad.
I'm sorry.
Would I find it funny?
Oh my God, yes.
Oh, okay.
Because again, it's not. Let's go back to the 7 men talking about their dicks. So these guys, 7 men talking about their dicks could potentially be one entire show, one entire showcase, and people would go and they'd laugh because sometimes it's funny, right? Mom Eating is not all about moms.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all about mom things. It's not all about parenting. It is literally women doing stand-up who have used their uteruses and the birth canal. That's it.
So, okay.
So you would find it funny.
Mm-hmm.
We're not gearing here, I'm giving this to
Okay.
you. We're not gearing our comedy specifically to a gender or a specific demographic. It is literally for everyone to enjoy. If you want to support women in comedy, if you, you know, and it's all ages and stages of motherhood, right? Mm-hmm. It's grandmothers, new mothers, moms of teens like me, young children, you know, everything. And it's just, you know, it's hard being a mom and a comedian. It's hard. Look, like, I mean, it's not like, oh my God, it's so hard being a mom and a comedian, but, you know, if we can make it a little bit easier to display talent that maybe doesn't get represented as frequently as it should be, then then we've achieved our goal.
Well, I'll consider coming sometime.
Okay.
Even though I've never given birth, but I did have a cat, Jennifer / Melissa, and she was 20. And so that actually, maybe I should be in the Mom Eating after.
Only if you used your uterus.
Sorry,
your birth canal.
For my next cat, I will do that. And then I will be on your show.
And that would be not organic.
But it would be incredible.
Oh,
holy moly.
That would be like TMZ.
Oh yeah. That would be like the cover of People magazine.
Oh, for sure.
Okay. So I have an update. We have an update. Yeah, this batter is looking good. Babe.
Actually, it looks good. I mean, I think maybe smooth was a misnomer.
Yeah.
I think they meant brain-like.
Okay, so we're gonna spoon it, and this is the worst possible angle. I'm gonna move this over here. Okay, and so we're spooning our batter into our 8x8 greased bowl, which Colleen did a lovely job with.
Thank you.
Oh gosh,
thank you. It was a lot of work, but
really,
I think you're worth it. I think you're worth it, Lauren.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we better get this in the oven, or we're never gonna be able to eat it. And
how long does it take?
20 minutes, dude.
Oh, how long have we been talking?
I don't know, but I feel like we don't even have anything left to talk about.
Oh, really?
We're going to have to dig deep and get really organic and authentic pretty soon. Okay, I did just stick my finger in that. My philosophy is that it will burn off in baking.
Of course.
Oh, thank God you agree.
Of course I do.
Okay, so here's the batter.
What do we do with the strawberries?
Now we put... I don't know what we do with this extra sugar, to be honest.
I actually think I made this.
You did?
I did. Is this from the New York Times?
Yes.
I did make it. Okay. And it's delicious.
I ate it once 2 summers ago, maybe.
It's delicious.
So good. But what do we do with that sugar?
You pour that over the top. I'm not sure. I don't know if then what you do is you use the rest of it to
use that batter. Not good batter. Okay.
I don't know if you use the rest of it to
put it on the strawberries.
Yeah.
I think we're going to do that. No, I think maybe now.
Okay.
Let's just spoon a little bit.
Not?
So the thing about this is I don't own a printer at home, so I write out the recipes because, of course, my computer is being used for this high-tech, professional, spontaneous, and organic podcast. So organic. I just have to handwrite the recipe. So if I forget directions, I improvise on the spot, as a matter of fact.
This could possibly be the most authentic and organic baking experience I've had. How much more of this do you want me to put on here?
I think quite a bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'm essentially like,
because there's got to be a reason that we used all that. Oh, you know what? I don't know why we had all that brown sugar, and I hope to God that, well, we're just gonna.
It's gonna be a little salty. It's gonna be a little sweet.
Okay, are we good?
We're good.
Okay, we're just gonna stick this baby in the oven, 20 minutes, and we're gonna be drinking until then.
I've been drinking prior to then.
Wow, I am excited about this.
Well, it's butter, sugar, fruit, flour. It's almost impossible to mess that up.
Yeah.
Whether it comes out in the texture and consistency that the New York Times thought was appropriate, it doesn't really matter. It's all going to the same place.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. How are you feeling?
I feel good.
Okay, great.
I feel inspired.
Yeah.
By the great. Organic moment we're having. It feels very authentic.
Oh my God. How did it feel when I said I felt discriminated against for not being a mom?
It felt, I'm going to be authentic. It felt a little annoying.
Okay, good.
But not in a sense that like, I was like, ooh. It was more like, huh.
It was like, I'm going to play my tiniest violin for you because you popped out 2 children and you've raised them and they're lovely, lovely human beings.
Thank you.
They're the cutest 2 boys in the world.
Thank you.
Michael and James. And your husband is adorable and sweet.
Thank you.
He's cool. He's a cool dude.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, half the time I go over to your house and I want to stay forever.
Aww.
Like live there because it's so like, it's, first of all, it's immaculate and it's spotless.
Okay.
And I just want to be part of your family.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. I mean, it's immaculate and spotless because I'm a little OCD. And are you sure you want to be there all the time? Because when nobody else is there, it's a little whip cracking with the boys. Like,
yeah.
Get that clean up. Dishes too. It goes in the dishwasher. And why are the dirty underwear always on the bathroom floor? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but they listen and you
sometimes. Yeah.
Well, you're strict, but it's good because it forces them to be good boys, like men, like people.
I hope so. It was, I've considered it my responsibility to make sure, and my husband is with me 100% on this, that we do everything to make sure that we're raising children who don't end up being assholes.
Yeah.
I mean, that is like my mantra. Is this moment a teachable moment so that they won't grow up to be an asshole? Then I better do something about it, and yeah. So I've been told, by a very good friend whose son has spent a lot of time with us, who said, Mom, Colleen is really funny, but she's really scary. And I consider that possibly the biggest parenting compliment.
That is. Yeah.
I want my children to be ever so slightly afraid.
Yes.
Because, I mean, this sounds wickedly unhealthy emotionally, but yeah, a little bit of fear to make sure you make the right decision.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, I mean, I was afraid for my whole life, pretty much.
And you are a beautiful human being.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But yeah, holy moly. Did my mom rip into me
and she did
every day.
Job.
Thank you. Well, I've also been in therapy for 12 years. So
we're all
let's just say
too.
That.
Cheers to therapy.
Yeah.
People get it. It helps.
Oh my God, it's
just
the best.
Don't deny yourself or your offspring therapy.
Oh, and medication, I will say. I'm not putting you in this category, but I am on medication and thank God for medication.
Thank God.
Cheers.
Look, I think the moral of this moment is if you need the help, get the help.
Get the help.
Get the help.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong.
Oh my God.
No stigma.
No,
okay.
But Colleen, I was thinking last night, so we had, and we're going to resurrect our comedy showcase, Bathroom Comedy.
I'm so excited.
Which was so wonderful. A monthly showcase that we had it, a live one.
Mm-hmm.
We will have it again.
We will.
There's no question. And I was thinking so it's the 2 of us
mm-hmm.
and then Jessica, Besser Rosenberg, and Courtney Bianca Buckwalter. I just love that she's a Buckwalter, but she's also got that Bianca.
Yeah, she's got that.
Yeah.
She's got to have that.
Yeah. There. Oh yeah. So I was thinking gosh, who is the strictest? Who is the scariest. Who would I not want to cross? And it's you.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. It's you.
Yeah.
So like in our kind of, there's 4 of us, we have this dynamic.
Yes.
And you are tough, and you, you set boundaries.
True.
You don't put up with bullshit.
Nope.
You're the enforcer.
Life's too short, right?
Yeah.
Life's too short. And there's so much bullshit in the entertainment industry. So no.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you are straight up the enforcer.
Here's the thing. If you're gonna do I'm gonna sound crazy. You are gonna be like, stay away from that. There's a reason why every day is like the first day of junior high school, right? I think if you're going to do something and you're going to ask people to give you their time, right? If people are going to sit down in a performance venue after working hard all week long, they deserve to be entertained as best as you possibly can entertain them. Period. End of story.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to ask comedians to come and perform and entertain these people, you better make sure that you're bringing your A game.
Yeah.
I just think that that's important. And it's through that dedication to respecting your audience and respecting your fellow performers and respecting your fellow producers that you can create something and grow something so that more and more people can benefit.
Yeah.
Audiences, performers, producers, arts and entertainment venues.
Mm-hmm.
So, so I feel like if you set very clear boundaries, okay, and you just tell everybody, I really expect you to stay within these boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do, we are going to have the most amazing playground ever.
Yeah. Yeah. And we do. We have a great showcase. So this is also a plug for Backroom Comedy. We will be bringing it back.
Yep.
We've had it in the back room at a live one. It is cozy. It's intimate. It's super fun. We pack people in. So that's going to be a challenge, of course, but figuring that out. And we just have a really, really fun time with the showcase.
It's great. And it's joyful. And I mean, maybe they're just blowing smoke up our asses because we're the producers, but I've had amazing feedback, as you have, and Jess and Courtney. We've all had feedback from performers who've told us it was a great show. Mm-hmm. They were surprised at how well it was run and how great the audience was, and they would be delighted to come back and perform again. Yeah. So, and I will say, I think everybody we've had has stayed within the boundaries and followed the rules and been one, and we've created a really fun playground.
Yeah. I'm trying to think like what are some challenges or negative things that we've had? I'm struggling to think of any.
I think, so the venue that we perform in is very intimate. And by that, I mean, we have tables very close together and it is a small room. So tops, we can do 40 people. And then you add in comedians and wait staff and bartender. And so when you're in that type of a situation, it's really important to be respectful of everybody. So sometimes the problems that we have had have been more related to people who stumbled in and didn't know what they were stumbling into.
For sure.
From an audience perspective. I would say 90% of the audiences that we've had have been great, but there are probably 10% of the people who come and want to like heckle or yell or talk through performances.
Yes, that's very spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I will say that I am not ashamed. I always tell people to be quiet.
You're amazing.
That part I do because it grates on me to have someone talking.
So what Lauren is not saying is that I might be the scariest one, but Lauren is actually far more the enforcer than I am. I mean, I have boundaries and everybody knows. And sort of if you know, But Lauren will be like, that is not okay. So in terms of scary, it's Lauren. It's Lauren. I am quietly scary.
Yes, that's a good point. Quiet. Right. I will just come right out and say, shh, you cannot stand here and talk. Right. Or I'll elbow someone, I'll shush them, I'll just tell them to be, that is not okay. Yeah. It's like, it's like having a kindergarten classroom or something.
She's the one. She's the one who does the reining in. And she's very good at it too, because I don't think people expect it to come from this.
No.
She looks so lovely. And I think maybe people are afraid of me because, I don't know.
I am afraid of you.
Why?
I'm just kidding. I'm not actually. But if I didn't know you so well. But yeah, well, you're tough. But yeah, if someone is talking, that is just my red light. That just sends me over the edge.
And we both ran. So we also, Lauren and I and Jess and Courtney all ran an open mic together for several years. And that is a whole different experience. Just
way different. Much harder, I think.
Much harder. And soul draining.
Yes, exactly. It's like a grind. It is, soul draining.
Soul draining. Because again, you have people coming in with different expectations and you're trying to be supportive and kind and help people. Like, being vulnerable is really hard. Mm-hmm. And doing stand-up comedy, I mean, it's not like we're digging ditches. It's not like we're solving hard world problems. We're not. But in terms of performance, and I've done a lot of different types of performance, stand-up comedy has been probably the most difficult, but equally the most rewarding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so if you're putting yourself on stage, writing your material, practicing your material in front of other people, knowing that perhaps only 10% of what you say is going to elicit laughter. Mm-hmm. That makes an open mic a very stressful place. Now, generally everybody has the same feeling coming into the mic. So you feel like you're in a collectively safe space. Mm-hmm. But that's not always the case.
No, it's not. No.
And so we tried to create that space, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what we wanted. And we wanted other people to have the same experience.
Yes, exactly. Like, you always want to cheer for people. You want to show them that you're engaged. You want to kind of set some ground rules. If people say really nasty and unkind things, which doesn't happen frequently, but when it does happen, you want to shut that down. Mm-hmm. Like, as a host, you want to come up after and say like, well, moving on, or like, that wasn't funny,
right? Or
something worse if needed.
Yeah.
You want to create, like you said, just a really safe space for people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was challenging for sure. And it was a grind.
Well, and it does get to be a point where, so when you are surrounded by that much vulnerability and insecurity, it does sort of wear you down.
Yeah.
It wears you down.
Yeah.
And there are some people who, I mean, even, the best comedians ever, people who are so amazing, can still walk into a mic and completely bomb.
Yes.
And it's reassuring for those of us who are afraid of that experience to see people who you respect and you love and who are just insanely talented, bomb in a room full of people.
Yes.
But also, comedians are notoriously difficult to get a laugh from.
Oh yeah. So that's why I think an open mic is so hard.
Yeah.
And it's hard to host it because you have to come up and you have to get the audience, which is your other burned out comedians, engaged immediately.
Yeah.
And if people aren't in a good mood, if they're tired, if they're distracted, which is a lot of the time, then you're also going to get up essentially as a host and bomb. So what you need to do is try and get up and bring energy, get everyone else
Yep.
interested and laughing and clapping and all of that, and kind of set the tone for the mic.
Yeah.
And if you can't do that, which sometimes I couldn't, because I'm a human,
Right.
then it was also, it felt terrible. So it was also demoralizing.
It was demoralizing.
Yeah.
And it made you question your life choices.
Yes.
Deeply.
Oh my gosh.
For a solid week.
Oh, Coco. Okay, let's see how we're doing. We have 5 minutes left.
Okay.
If you want more Prosecco, it's on the counter.
I absolutely cannot be day drinking.
Yeah. No,
any
neither
longer.
can I.
I'm going to try to be productive.
That's good. What else are you going to do?
Today?
Yeah.
Oh, do people really want to know?
Okay.
Do you want to know what I'm going to do
tell
today?
us like one little tidbit from your weekend that's like, or from today or something.
Oh my gosh. Last night.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not an evergreen topic because at some point people are going to stop talking about the pandemic.
Thank God. I can't wait for that.
But last night, my husband and I went out to dinner outdoors, and our waiter came to us at the table because we kept like putting the masks on and off and on and off and on and off. And he stopped us and he said, "Hey, have you guys both been vaccinated?" And we're like, we're fully vaccinated. He's like, "You don't have to wear the mask."
Stop.
When I come to the table. I spent the next 60 minutes in like unadulterated bliss. And I'm being overly dramatic because it was a dramatic moment in my life.
Oh yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. You don't have to keep like.
No. And we tried, even though we were outside and even though we were just trying to be so respectful. Again, Lauren, we can all be in the playground together. If we just respect each other's boundaries. And then he gave me that and I was like, whoa.
You like twirled it overhead like it was a bra and you just tossed it off.
Oh yeah.
You put it in the candle and it caught on.
It caught on. Mic drop. Don't ever drop the mic, people. By the way, I'm sorry. I said mic drop, but I'm really serious about this.
Yeah, don't drop this Yeti mic.
Ever. If you're like, if somebody hands you, this is life lessons from Auntie Colleen.
Lessons from Coco.
If somebody gives you a microphone and you feel like you've had a victorious moment at that microphone, do not drop that microphone. Do not.
It is not good for the microphone.
It is an expensive piece of equipment that somebody has worked very hard to buy that you could have a pleasant experience. So that's my PSA.
That's a wonderful PSA.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
My PSA is to get rid of those damn Dyson hand dryers. They're causing hearing loss. If there isn't the evidence and the research on it, there will be soon. I promise you, we're making ourselves deaf. Yeah. With those hand dryers.
I do find it fascinating when you put your hands into those hand dryers. The amount of slack.
Yeah. It's like ripples and it's like going.
It's fascinating. Yeah. I'm like, would my hands have looked like that when I was 10?
I mean,
or is this the product of aging? No idea.
It's a good question. It's basically like sticking your head out of like an airplane and like what all your skin would do. But
oh my God. That's a terrifying, horrible
I know. It's actually, that is legit terrifying. I have like dreams about airplanes and being up high and anyway.
Oh wow.
And then dying.
Wow.
So
I'm so sorry. How do you travel?
Listen,
you're a traveler too.
I like to travel. I don't like to fly. And that started when my sister Amy and I were on a flight to California and we had a layover in Las Vegas. And since then, we've never, ever taken a nonstop to California. I don't think either one of us. And this flight coming into Las Vegas, and everyone says, oh, it was turbulence, this and that. Like, I felt like the plane was bending in half. Like the wings were folded up to the side of the plane and we were bouncing and bouncing and bouncing and it did not stop. And I was so terrified. So there was a German man in our row and I made him hold hands with me and my sister was in the middle. And so I'm reaching across her to hold hands with him. And I'm screaming and I'm swearing and sweating profusely. And this went on and on and on. And my sister Amy is also scared, but equally scared and mortified that I am clutching this man. And I'm like, is this going to be okay? What the hell is that pilot thinking? Oh my fucking God. Freaking out. Okay. And so then we land in Las Vegas and I make him go to the bar with us and we buy him a margarita, which he does. And then we had to get back on the plane and fly into Oakland.
Yeah.
And it was so awful. So my tactics for flying are still to hold hands with a stranger. I do it almost every flight.
But not necessarily a German stranger.
Not necessarily German. I did hold hands with a woman who is a doctor last time, and she asked me if I might want to consider getting medication for my next flight, which I thought was
already there, babe.
Very intuitive. And I typically sit on the aisle and I have a drink. And being on the aisle makes me feel safer.
I agree.
Less near to the potential outdoor elements that are going to suck me out of the plane and cause me to die.
Wow. Wow.
And now our strawberries.
Now it's time for delightful, fluffy strawberry. Okay. That was an organic moment. You know, I got to tell you, Lauren, I have flown. I've only been to Vegas twice, and I didn't even go for my first time until I was like, maybe 39. I think I was the first time I went. And both times I've been, landing at the Vegas airport was exactly the way you described it. Both times.
Because you're going over mountains and then it's like a quick scoop in.
We actually hit the runway and then went back up into flight.
What? And
then came back down and went back up into flight. It was like we were boom and then back up and boom and then back up. And then that was one of the times, but both times were terrifying.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Were you flipping out?
Well, yeah, because number one, I wasn't all that excited about going to Vegas.
Yeah.
And number two, I didn't want somebody to say Colleen died on her way to Vegas. Like a place that she wasn't really all that thrilled about going to anyway. Like it would have been better. It was like Colleen was on the Amalfi Coast and just stepped a little too far off the edge after several glasses of Prosecco. You know, that would have been a far more interesting death than the Vegas runway.
Oh my God, no. It's awful.
It's awful. A little morbid. It was authentic though.
Well, okay, so our strawberry spoon cake, at least in theory, is done.
It looks good.
I think it might need a little more time.
It's supposed to be like pudding-like.
Okay, well then it is pudding-like, and we're gonna let it cool for just a minute. Then we're gonna try some and have an authentic and organic experience talking about how it tastes.
Yeah.
And then I felt like there was one other thing I had to ask you about before on my little my brainstorm. I just have to tell you, this is another PSA. Yes. I have been watching the show Justified on Hulu.
I don't know what that is.
Oh,
is that Timothy Oliphant?
Dear God.
Super. Talk about a long, tall drink of water.
Holy, I can't even. My sister Lindsay called me on Friday night and I was like, hello? And she was like, are you okay? And I said, oh yeah, I'm just watching Justified. And it is the hottest human being on earth. He is amazing.
So here's the thing. I have not watched this show. I have seen I think I've seen a trailer because somebody had talked about it and had, again, like Vegas, had the same experience that you did. And I'm like, what is this? Because I feel like if you see him in other contexts, you might not have the same emotional response.
I've never seen him in another show, and I almost don't ever want to because he is so unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you my Hulu password. I think I gave it to you once to watch the show Normal People, which I advised you strongly.
I watched the whole thing.
Did you watch it? And did you watch it alone?
Yes.
Thank God. That was my word of warning.
Of course. And neither one of when so my youngest is a junior in high school. And he came, I would watch it while I was working out, and he would come through the room and he'd be like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "Oh, it's this show about like relationships." It's a lot of talking and like, it's very thoughtful and sort of quiet. And he's like, "Oh, like exactly." So yeah, there was no chance of him actually.
It's basically softcore porn.
It was.
And it would be mortifying to watch with any family member.
But it wasn't so yes, about the soft porn thing, but not really. It was interesting because there is full frontal for a man, which is so ridiculous that it's shocking because of the amount of times women in the history of entertainment and film have been full frontal.
Mm-hmm. True.
I mean, I can count on 2 fingers how many full frontal male images I've seen, and this is one of them.
This is one of them. What is another one? Okay, well,
wow, hold on. I really want to.
Dirk Diggler, but that was a fake. That was a prosthetic penis.
I never saw the whole movie because it was just so sad.
Oh, yeah. I liked it. But that was a prosthetic penis. But wait, there was another one recently that I saw, and I was like, holy moly.
Yeah.
Gosh.
And it was so, but Normal People was really good. And then, it was Normal.
Yeah, Normal People.
And then I read a book by the same author.
Yes.
Called Conversations with Friends.
Oh.
Which was very good.
Was it also
Sally Rooney.
Like a porn or no?
No.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, they definitely, but I don't think it wasn't like a porn. Line.
Yeah.
You're misrepresenting this.
Well, I actually don't
you
watch
sound very
porn.
Catholic right now.
I know. I'm sorry, but I don't watch porn, so I don't even know. But
this is good.
Is it good?
This is exactly what it was when I made it. It's really tasty because it's supposed to be like puddingy.
It's puddingy. It's not too salty, and it's not too sweet. I'm glad we didn't use all the sugar.
It's delicious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is so good. You guys have to find this recipe.
Yeah. I'm going to put this up with the podcast posting so that you can find it and make it and eat it. Like we're doing. Mm-hmm. It's jammy and gooey and delicious.
It kind of reminds me of a I don't want to say a pancake because it's not like,
yeah.
The consistency is different, but there's sort of like, it reminds me a little bit of a strawberry pancake where it's not like super sweet, but it's just right.
Yeah, it is just right.
It's a good balance of salt and sweet.
It's just right, just like you.
Oh, like you, Lauren. Come on. You guys, this is good.
Oh my gosh, Colleen. Well, we're just going to wrap it up on this episode of Hot Dish.
I'm sad.
My golly, my gosh.
I kind of don't want it to end.
I know.
There's so many things we haven't talked about.
I know. Well, let's think of one or two, and then I can have you on again in season 2, whenever that's going to be.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to.
Okay.
I feel like right now we've reached where we're not being organic anymore because I can't think of anything and it's just going to be forced. And I don't know if I'm just going to reach for a stupid idea.
Right.
When I could have had a delightful idea.
Okay. Yeah. So this is a really organic way to end our episode. Mm-hmm. And this has just been a delight. It really has. A real treat, just like this strawberry spoon cake.
Absolutely.
I love you.
Love you too.
And Lincoln Lodge, shout out to you, Christine Ferreira, especially.
Thank you, Christine. I wish you could eat some of this with us. It's really good.
And you will soon, someday soon.
Yes.
Okay, this is a wrap. This is Hot Dish. Lauren, Colleen. Mwah.
Mwah. Thank you.
Ciao.
Thanks, Lauren. Enjoy.